And then what would you say was the wounds that you had to overcome, that you had to integrate in order to earn your superpower?
Yeah. I know it's an awkward and difficult question to answer, so probably may not even answer it because you're asking me to label something in me and say that's my superpower. That seems like such an ego statement, and I don't
Well,
know
about capabilities.
what my capabilities.
Yes, yeah, yeah, extra capability, super capability.
Well, there are several. The one that would stand out and that often has been commented on, I have, and it's a completely learned skill. I've become a good presenter, communicator, speaker. It wasn't in the English language, and English is my third language I had to learn.
Hmm.
So, and I spoke it in a very awkward way, in a rapid fire fashion because of my mother tongue, Malayalam, how it's spoken. And the way I would pronounce a word, the speed with which I would, the cadence, all that made me unintelligible. But I'd overcome all that and become a confident public speaker presenter. It's a skill people fear the most.
Hmm.
Getting up in front of an audience and speaking to 2,000 people terrifies most people. And initially I did too, but I walked towards a storm. And no matter how much my throat dries up, felt parched, I said, I'm going to learn the skill. And one way I know is that you ask somebody and say, where do you learn the skill? Who can teach it to you? And they might make an introduction connection. So that's how I did. And eventually I found my way to a worldwide organization that helps people learn public speaking at a mastery level called Toastmasters. And that was a huge, made a huge difference. And I say, even the name is an odd one. I say it's like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's for people with a speaking problem. So that was my advent into it. But it's led over the years, and just all I did was consistently show up, pick up one more skill, or get one more mentor, and over time, it led me to actually compete in the World Championship of Public Speaking. There
Oh,
was
no kidding. You competed.
those are the trophies behind me actually, and one that is looks like it's really plastic, but I said lucite. Maybe it's lucite, it, but you can't see it here because of the light. And that's my proudest one. That's when in 2018 I ended up top 20 in the world from among
Mm,
35,000 competitors in 145 countries, from
mm.
145 countries. So, but it's not about winning a trophy. It's about picking up a skill, a talent, to tell stories, to be persuasive and charismatic on stage and hold people's attention and move them to action, to make them believe in something. And I've used that skill in two dimensions at work. What I do for Google at many levels is to use that skill to talk to senior leaders of our largest customers and make them understand a point of view around digital technology and transform the business. And hence my title and role, and why I'm dressed like this, because I had a couple three meetings of that kind today, and I just thought, and they were like with global companies, senior level, and even though I'm doing it from home, I thought I wanted to show up in a certain way.
Sure.
Um, but that's on the professional side. It's helped me pivot my career around that skill, and I realized how much it's a sought after skill, particularly in my industry, to be able to take these complex concepts and demystify it for a business audience at a leadership level. But secondly, it's also given me a platform outside of work to able to speak and bring out messages that I want to deliver. And that's what led to 5 TEDx talks by now, uh,
Wow.
hundreds of speaking opportunities around the world. I travel all over the world and get to speak. I get invited. I would probably do it 2x that level. I'm in a post-COVID, of course, but due to my work circumstances, I have to limit the number. But otherwise, I get invited all the time, and that's quite an honor. I'm deeply touched by it because to me, yeah, again, it's not about ego. It's about an amazing opportunities other human beings are giving to me. And I tell myself, if I'm on stage for an hour doing a keynote with in front of, let's say, 1,000 people or 10,000 people, all of which I've done. So if let's say large scale audience of 10,000 people, you do a keynote. It's 2 hours of your time, but it's 20,000 hours they're giving back in exchange.
Mm,
20,000 hours of attention. So this is an unfair value. You're getting so much love back, and you
mm,
better take this very, very seriously. And therefore, I do follow a thumb rule that my professional coaches have taught me that for you put in 2 hours of work, for every minute on stage.
Mm,
So if you're going to be speaking for an hour, you better be prepared to put in 120 hours of work, which seems like a lot, except when you realize that they are putting in 20,000 hours of their time to
mm,
listen to you. Uh, so in terms of rehearsals, preparation, checking with the hosts, etc., I put in a lot of time. So I would say that would be one skill that I've picked up over the years, and that's you could call quote unquote superpower. But I just think of a talent, a blessing that I've been given that has really served me well in my personal and professional life. And
mm,
the reason being, communication is one of the key drivers of how we live and function. You can have the most amazing talent, you can have the most incredible ideas and genius brain, but you are both judged, perceived, and the effect you can have on other people, your ability to influence and persuade, is all dependent on how well you can articulate and communicate that point of view, that idea. And either people will listen and will get moved by it, or they they won't get the message. They won't pay attention to your message.
mm. I love that. So inside of what you said, there's a few different points I want to highlight. Now, so you pull on the thread of this commitment to acquire new skills.
Yeah.
You lean into it, and then you follow that curiosity, and then you reframe the work that you had to do as a way to earn the 20,000 hours of attention that the audience is not gifting you.
Yeah.
I really like that mental model because in my mind, I'm a Toastmaster as well.
Good.
And I competed as well. I didn't get to the world stage, but I competed regionally. In my mind, I was thought like, man, there's like hundreds of hours of work for just 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But that framework of actually people gifting you their attention
Yeah.
is a beautiful for my cerebral mind to make that calculation.